Hello, welcome to this video. This is Blessings Academy of Health Sciences, Biology A-level practice questions and answers. So those that are interested to register for online lessons, you can contact the numbers provided here in biology, chemistry, physics and maths for A levels. And this is Ketesovu Biology Tutor Dan. So we are going to solve past paper questions for A level biology. So the first question here says the atomic number of a given element is, the answers we have option 1, which says the mass number of the element. So this is not true. Then number 2, it says number of protons. Yeah, this is true. Then 3, we have the number of protons plus the neutrons. No, this is mass number. Then 4, we have number of neutrons. This is not true. 5, the number of electrons. So the answer here is 2. 2 is the correct answer. Let's go to question 2. The question 2 says isotopes are atoms that have the same dash but different dash. So isotopes have the same atomic number but different mass numbers. For example, we have isotopes for carbon. We have isotope for carbon. Let's try to write them. So we have isotopes of carbon. We have the one that has a 12 here, and the other one has got a 13 here, and the other one has got a 14 here. But all of them, they have a 6 down here, as you can see. So the best answer here is the same atomic numbers but different mass numbers, which takes us to answer 3 is the correct one. So question 3, the element which has mass number 12 and atomic number 6 is, yeah, exactly what we are just from explaining here, from the example. So here it's carbon, mass number 12 and the atomic number 6. So let's go to question 4. Question 4 says the region of an atom which can be filled with 1 or 2 electrons is known as, 1, we have a nucleus. No, this is not true. Number 2, we have a shell. So a shell cannot be filled with 1 or 2 electrons. We have a lot of electrons in the shells. So this is not true. Then answer 3 says a neutron. This is not true. Then 4, we have an atomic orbital. Then 5, we have proton. So the correct answer here is 4, an atomic orbital. That's where we have electrons being filled with 2 or 1 electron. But maximum is 2. That means it is completely filled. Then question 5. For the second shell of an atom to be stable, it must have dash electrons. So for the second shell, we have 1s orbital, which needs to have 2 electrons. Then second shell. Now let's do this. So the second shell, we have 2s, which needs 2 electrons. Then we have 2p, which needs 6 electrons. Since we have 3 p orbitals, so 2 plus 6, which gives us 8. So 4 is the correct answer for this one here. 8 electrons. Let's go to question 6. So question 6 says, which of the following substances has a polar covalent bond between its atoms? Polar covalent bonds. So we have sodium chloride. So sodium chloride has got ionic bonds. They are not polar covalent bonds. So we leave out sodium chloride. Then we have hydrogen molecule. So hydrogen molecule is not a polar covalent bond. It is a covalent bond but not polar. As you can see, we have the same atoms. So we have glucose. We have glucose. Then we have methyl. So for methyl, we leave out methyl as well. This is not true. Then oxygen. So for oxygen, it's not polar also, but it is covalent. So the only option that we have here, it's glucose. Since glucose, they have covalent bonds, and these covalent bonds, they have hydrogen bonds in them. So that's why it is a polar covalent bond. So the correct answer is 3, glucose molecule. So let's go to question 7. So question 7 says, which of the following substances contains an ionic bond? I think this is what I'm from explaining here up, where you have sodium chloride, and sodium chloride is also here among the answers. So the correct answer is 4, ionic bond. So question 8 says, which of the following is true about the type of bonds in liquid water? So options, we have 1 says water contains ionic and non-polar hydrogen bonds. So water doesn't have ionic bonds, so this is not true. Let's go to question 2. Water contains hydrogen bonds only. Yeah, water contains hydrogen bonds, but it's not the only bond that is found there. So let's go to 3. Water contains both polar covalent and hydrogen bonds. Exactly, which is the best option among the answers. So let's also check answer 4 we see, so that we qualify or disqualify it. Water contains non-polar covalent bonds only. So this is not true. Then 5, we have water contains both non-polar covalent and hydrogen bonds. So 3 is the best option. It's the correct answer. So let's go to question 9. Question 9 says, which of the following substances does not have hydrogen bonds? So answer 1, we have water. Yeah, water has got hydrogen bonds. Then glyceride, which is a lipid. So we don't have hydrogen bonds in lipids. DNA, we have hydrogen bonds. Transfer RNA, we have hydrogen bonds. Polypeptide, which is a protein, also have hydrogen bond. So the best option answer here is 2. So let's go to the next question. So here question 10 says, choose the series which is arranged in order of decreasing strength. So for 1, we have covalent bonds. They are saying covalent bonds have the strongest strength, followed by ionic bond, then van der Waals forces, and hydrogen. So this is not true, because hydrogen bonds are stronger than van der Waals forces. So we disqualify 1. So let's go to 2. So 2 says ionic bond stronger than hydrogen bond, then hydrogen bond stronger than covalent. So this is not true as well, since hydrogen are less strong compared to covalent bonds. So let's go to 3 now. So covalent bond, we have ionic, hydrogen, van der Waals forces. Yeah, so this answer seems to be the correct one. So let's also check 4. So here it starts with the hydrogen bond, so we disqualify this one. Even 5, it starts with the van der Waals forces, so we disqualify this. So the only correct answer that we are remaining with is option 3. So let's go to question 11. So question 11 says, compared to the charge and mass of a proton, an electron has, compared to the charge and mass of a proton, an electron has, so a proton is denser than an electron. That's why you have most of the mass being contributed by the nucleus. So the first option says the same charge and the smaller mass. So this is not true. Protons are positive, electrons are negative. So let's go to 2. The same charge and the same mass. So this is not true. 3, an opposite charge and a smaller mass. Yeah, this is true, which is what I explained. Electrons are less dense compared to protons. So protons are denser than electrons. So what about 4? An opposite charge, yes, and the same mass. So for mass, it's not true. Then 5 says an opposite charge and larger mass. This is not true. So the answer is opposite charge and smaller mass. So 3 is the best option here. So question 12 says, which of the following are isotopes? Carbon 14 and nitrogen 14. Then we have oxygen 16 and oxygen 18. We have chlorine 35 and sulfur 32. So carbon 14 is an isotope. Chlorine 35 is not an isotope. So we have 1, should be among the answers. So 1 and 2, then 2 and 3. So the isotopes here, we have 1. Oxygen doesn't have an isotope, so the only answer that we can go for here is carbon 14 and nitrogen 14. These are isotopes. So let's go to question 13, which says, the electrons involved in chemical reactions are always found in the dash of an atom. So the electrons that are involved are always found in the outermost shell. So answers we have first shell, 2 nucleus, 3 outermost shell, 4 2p orbital, then 5 first orbital. So the best answer here is outermost shell, 3. Let's go to the next question. So we solved this one. So we ended on question 13. So the next one should be question 14. Yeah, which is this one. So when oxygen is involved in a chemical reaction, its dash, then here it says an atomic number increases. So this is not true. Atomic number remains the same. Protons are involved in the chemical reaction. This is not true. It's only electrons that are involved in chemical reactions. So we have 3 atomic number decreases. So this is not true as well. Then 4, we have neutrons are involved in the chemical reaction. No, this is not true. Then we have 5, atomic number remains the same, which is the correct answer. Let's go to 15. An ion with 15 protons, 16 neutrons, and a charge of -3 has an atomic number of. So we have mass number. So mass number is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. So we have, okay, let's assume this ion is X, then -3, charge -3. Then it has 15 protons and number of neutrons 16. So the mass number will be 15 plus 16, and this gives us what? 31. So the mass number will be 31. So what will be the atomic number? So the atomic number maintains, as I mentioned in the previous question. So the atomic number will just be the number of protons. So the best answer here is 215. It maintains, it doesn't change. So 16, the maximum of electrons that can occupy the first shell of an atom is, so in the first shell you just have one orbital, one s, which is on s2, and this is occupied by 2 electrons. So the best option is 2 2 electrons. Then 17, the orbitals of the second shell of an atom are. So for the second shell, we have 1s orbital by 2 electrons, then we have 2s by 2 electrons, then 2p by 6 electrons. So these are the orbitals that are found in the second shell. So let's see on the options. And for p, we have, there are 3 here. We have 2px, then we have 2pz and 2py. So let's go on the answers. So for the second shell, let's not include 1s. I made a mistake here. It's just 2s. You start with the 2s. So just add 2s to this here. So we have 2s. So this one we remove, 1 we remove, 2 we remove this one. Then we have 2sc, 2px, 2py, 2pz. So the best option here is 4. So question 18. So question 18 says, choose the statement which is correct. Now here we just have 4 options. So the carbon dioxide molecule has 2 covalent single bonds. So let's see the structure of carbon dioxide. So structure of carbon dioxide is like this. So this is carbon dioxide. So the structure of carbon, then double covalent bonds. So this answer is not true. So let's go to 2. In the formation of carbon dioxide, electrons are donated by carbon. No, this is not true. They share electrons equally. Then 3, we have the water molecule has 2 covalent single bonds. The water molecule has 2 covalent single bonds. So let's draw the structure of water. So water is like this. Oxygen, then hydrogen, and another hydrogen. So is this true? Water molecule has 2 covalent single bonds. Yeah, so this is true. So this is the correct answer, 3. So next question is question 19. So question 19 says, choose the property which makes water an effective solvent. So water is an effective solvent because of its dipolar nature. So let's see the answers. Density property, high heat of vaporization, dipolar nature, high specific heat capacity of extension. So the best option here is dipolar nature. It is able to dissolve many substances which are polar. So 20. Ice is able to float on liquid water because ice is lighter than liquid water. So let's see the answers. Water has a high specific heat capacity. No, this is not related to this statement here, why ice is able to float on liquid water. So 2, because of the high surface tension. No, this is not the answer. Ice is insoluble in liquid water. No, this is not true. Water freezes to 4 degrees Celsius. See the 5. The density of liquid water below the ice surface increases. The density of liquid water below the ice surface increases. So this is the best option. 5 is the correct answer. So let's go to question 21. So we are ending on question 30. So 21 says, the cooling effect of water on plants depends on its. So the cooling effect has to depend on heat of vaporization. The amount of heat that is required to change the liquid to the gaseous state. So which is heat of vaporization, which is 3 is the best option. Then 22, the best explanation of why certain insects can walk on water is. So here we are dealing with the surface tension of water. So let's see the answers. The effect of surface tension between water and the legs of the insects. Yeah, this is true. Let's see 2, because water gets frozen whenever such insects walk over it. This is not true. So 3, the strong effect of cohesion at the surface, at the water surface. So this is not true, because of all of such insects have a lower density than that of water. This is not true. The strong effect of adhesion at the water surface. Yeah, so the best option is because of surface tension. Insects are able to walk on water. Let's go to the next question, question 23. So the structure in the figure below represents, so this is a furanose ring. As you can see, it has got 5 sides. So let's see on the answers. We have an alpha pyranose ring. So this is not true. Pyranose ring has got 60 sides. So we disqualify 1. So 2, we have a beta ribosfuranose ring. Ribosfuranose ring. Beta furanose ring. So for a beta, so we need on carbon 2 here. The hydroxyl group has to be up for a beta. So which seems to be the right answer. So let's go to 3 also. An alpha pentose sugar ring. No, a pentose sugar ring. Yeah, an alpha. So for the alpha, you need the OH down. So we disqualify this one. So for a beta furanose ring. A beta furanose ring. So for a beta furanose ring, yeah. It's a furanose ring since we have 5 sides and we have OH facing upward here on carbon number 2, an alpha pyranose ring. So this is not true. So the only answers that we are remaining to consider here are those that are talking about furanose ring. A beta ribosfuranose ring. Yeah, so the best option here, this one just says beta furanose ring, but it doesn't specify. So this one here is a specific. This is a ribose sugar. So if it was deoxyribose, here we are going to have 2. Like here we were not going to have this OH, we are going to have 2 hydrogen atoms on carbon 3. So this is a beta ribose furanose ring. It's the best option. So let's go to question 24. Choose the incorrect statement. So 1 says glucose is a structural isomer of galactose. Yeah, so these are structural isomers. They differ on carbon 4, glucose and galactose. Let's go to question answer 2, which says fructose is a structural isomer of glucose. Fructose is a structural isomer of glucose. So this one is a stereoisomer, not a structural isomer of glucose, fructose. So 3, the most common form of glucose is the D isomer. So this is true. Then 4, alpha glucose has the OH on carbon 1 below the ring. Yes, this is true. And 5, of glucose has the OH group on carbon 4 above the ring. Glucose has the OH group on carbon 4 above the ring. So this is not true. So this one, fructose, is also a structural isomer of glucose. So the best answer that we are going to go for here is this one. So glucose on carbon 4 has got OH group down, but for galactose it has got OH group above the ring. So 5 is the best answer. So let's go for question 25. Start the molecules below and choose the statement which best describes the molecules. So we have So we have this one, have this molecule here, which is a furanose ring. We have this one also, so this is a pyranose ring. This is a alpha, as you can see. The OH group is down here. So this one is a fructose. This is fructose. So let's see on the answers. So the answers are saying C. C is a fructose. Yeah, so this is true. C is galactose, no. C is a fructose, yeah. C is a ribose. So we have option 1 and 3. That's the best answers. Let's see now. We disqualify the incorrect answer. So B, we said it's C. So this is glucose. So this is glucose. Since the OH is down, this is alpha glucose. B, alpha glucose, yeah. Then A is a deoxyribose. A is a deoxyribose. So we have OH, OH. So this can't be deoxyribose since you have OH, OH here. So this needs to be ribose. So A is a ribose. Alpha galactose. So this is the answer. So A is ribose and B is alpha galactose. Alpha galactose. So galactose has got HO here above the ring on carbon number 4, but glucose has got the OH down here. Then this one here, it's a beta, it's a alpha galactose because OH is down on carbon number 2. So let's go to the next question, which is question 26. The structure in the figure below is, and the glycosidic bond is. So we have glycosidic bond. So we have this one here. Is this glucose? So we have OH down here. Yeah, so this is glucose, and here we have OH up. So this is galactose. This is galactose. This is glucose. So when you have galactose and glucose, they make what we call lactose. So let's see on the answer. So we have option 2 and option 4 is the answers. Let's go now on the glycosidic bonds. So the glycosidic bond for this one, it's a beta glycosidic bond. Beta glycosidic bond. Because OH here on galactose, it was above, which was a beta galactose. So 4 is the correct answer. Let's go to question 7. So 27 says, which of the following statement is or are correct or true about glycogen and cellulose? So glycogen is found in animals while cellulose is found in plants. So this is true. So glycogen is solid material while cellulose is a structural material. So glycogen is a storage material and cellulose is a structural material. So this is true. What about 3? The glycogen polymer is branched while cellulose polymer is unbranched. So cellulose glycogen polymer is branched while cellulose polymer is unbranched. Glycosidic bonds in glycogen are, and while they are only one of 1,4 in cellulose. All of the above are true. So glycogen is a polymer is branched, while cellulose polymer is unbranched. Glycosidic bonds in glycogen are, while they are only 1,4 in cellulose. All of the above are true. So we have glycogen found in animals while cellulose is found in plants. So this is true here. The statement is true. Glycogen is storage, which is in muscles, storage material. While cellulose is a structural material. So cellulose is part of the cell, is a constituent of the cell. So we can't choose any one answer here. So all of the above are true is the best option, because we can't just go for one answer leaving the other one. So all of the above are correct. So make sure you pay attention to when you have such answers in the questions. Make sure you pay particular attention. So 28, you have lipids are dash. So lipids are soluble in water. This is not true. They are partially soluble. So hydrophilic, this is not true. They have a hydrophilic part and a hydrophobic part. So this is not entirely true. Then polymers of fatty acids. So lipids are not polymers. This is not true. So hydrophobic. So amphipathic is the correct answer here, since we have a portion that is hydrophilic and a portion that is hydrophobic. So 5 is the correct answer. So 29. Which statement is true about fat acids, e.g. stearic acid, as compared to carbohydrates, e.g. glucose? So fat acids have a higher hydrogen to oxygen ratio. So fat acids have more hydrogen than oxygen than in glucose. Then 2, we have fat acids have a lower hydrogen to oxygen ratio. So this is not true. Then 3, fat acids and carbohydrates have the same hydrogen to oxygen ratio. This is not true. 4, fat acids have a lower carbon to oxygen ratio. This is not true. Fat acids more polar groups. So this is not true. So the best answer here is 1. We have more hydrogens than oxygen. So 30, which is the last question we are going to consider in this video. So 30 says, which of the following is true about oleic acid? So it has a glycerol head. So which is true? It is polyunsaturated. Polyunsaturated. What about 3? It has 2 double bonds. It has 1 double bond. It is saturated. So saturated is not true. So oleic acid, which statement is true about oleic acid? Oleic acid has got a glycerol head. It is polyunsaturated oleic acid. So oleic acid has 1 double bond. So this one is liquid at room temperature. So there's 1 double bond. Two double bonds. So this one has one double bond. It has one double bond. So this is the correct answer. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you contact the numbers that are provided there to register for online lessons in all the A-level courses. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe and invite your friend to subscribe to the channel. Watch out for the next videos, biology A-level.